Hey guys, it's Ramon from Eclectic Emissary, and we are here today to answer your burning question. Just how expensive is a vacation to Greece? And it's going to be pretty awesome. So we're going to provide all tips and tricks you're going to need for your trip so you know exactly how much you'll expect to spend. It's going to be pretty sweet, so hope you're ready. Let's go. What do you
We're
think?
here. Honeymoon starts
Honeymoon
right now.
started now. Not gonna lie, it's a little hectic over here, a little crazy, but we're gonna take the train to Athens.
Nothing's crazy than Cairo.
That's true. Nothing beats Cairo. Anyway, let's get on this train, get to our hotel. All right, so the biggest expense when you're traveling to Greece is going to be the airline tickets. Of course, they're generally pretty expensive, but it's highly dependent on what time of year you're going to be traveling. We traveled at the end of May till early of June, which is the shoulder season, not too hot. So it's right before the crazy influx of tourists. So it's slightly cheaper than most times. We got the ticket for about $1,000 each, but as the summer goes on, the tickets go up to around 12 to 1500, and for low season, like later in the year during the winter, it can be around 600. So it really depends what time of year you're traveling. So Athens is the biggest city in Greece, but fortunately, it is also one of the most affordable. So Athens, compared to the other places, is actually really cheap. So we got a hotel that's about 4 stars in a really great area in the Syntagma Square area for about $125 a night. For 4 nights, that was a little over 400, 500. So yeah, really good deal. Plus, it's in a really great location, so you can find even better things if you're willing to go a little bit further. Like 5 stars, probably were in the range of less than 200 a night. Okay, so food expenses in Greece can be 2 sides of the spectrum. On one hand, you can get really fancy restaurants where you have to reserve a table ahead of time and have a minimum spending limit. Just for instance, like the A for Athens, one of the best restaurants we had in Athens, was around $35 spending limit. So not too bad, but it can get pretty pricey depending on if you want to include drinks and appetizers and all that stuff. But you can also get super cheap street food, which is also really high quality and delicious. So I highly recommend having some gyros or some souvlaki, and you can find it almost everywhere for really cheap. Another great thing about Athens is that it's a city with amazing sights to see, like the famous Acropolis and all the other ancient ruins scattered throughout the city. So we signed up for a tour, which wasn't too much, maybe $50 to $100, I think it was. But fortunately, most things are actually free to see and pretty inexpensive, so you can enjoy most of the sightseeing in the city on a really cheap budget. So once you're in the country, it's actually really cheap to get to other cities and islands. So for instance, we went to Santorini from Athens, and the ticket was about $50. So if you want to fly anywhere else inside Greece, it's going to be relatively inexpensive and great for budget traveling. So probably the most popular island in all of Greece and one of the biggest tourist destinations is Santorini. Of course, you have to go because it's beautiful. The landscapes are amazing. There's so much adventurous things to do and luxury accommodations. So it can be quite expensive, not gonna lie. We stayed at the Milos Villa Hotel. And this is about a 4-star hotel. It is in the capital of Fira, a little bit outside of the city, maybe 15-minute walk. But it had great amenities, a simple room, but it had a pool, free breakfast, and it was really nice. Also, the concierge was pretty awesome. Not gonna lie, this was a little bit on the pricier side, around $334 total, but it's not a bad option if you want to save some money in Santorini. Of course, if you want to go to the top end, the sky is the limit. You can stay at individual villas on the cliff sides of Ia or Fira, and you're going to spend way more, but it has all these pools and way more luxuries included. One thing about Santorini is that the transportation around the island is not the best, so most likely you're going to have to get a car, or you can rent a scooter or an ATV, 4-wheeler, anything like that. They're relatively inexpensive. Just make sure you get your international driver's permit before, so you won't get into any trouble while you're driving on the roads. I think we rented a car for about $35 a day, so it was pretty cheap. But if you want to take the buses around the island, which is another good method of getting around, it's pretty cheap, maybe like €2 or something one way. Fortunately, sightseeing around Santorini is actually pretty affordable. We went wine tasting for about $50 and went and hiked a volcano, of course, and swam in the volcanic hot springs for also about $50. So doing things around the island can be pretty cheap, especially if you're just going to the beaches like the Red Beach or Parissa Beach, Kamari Beach. Those things can be pretty cheap. So yeah, just make sure to reserve things in advance so you get the best price. Another option to consider if you want to get around the country would be to take the ferry. So we took the ferry from Santorini to Mykonos, and it was about €80. So it wasn't too bad for a 2 to 3 hour journey if you want to avoid taking the airplanes all the time. In Mykonos, we stayed at the Paradise View Hotel, which is only a 7-minute walk from the Paradise Beach, which is a great location. I think we stayed for 3 nights for around $400. So this was pretty awesome. If you want to stay next to the beach, it has great amenities. It also included free breakfast, a pool, and the staff was absolutely incredible. They were so helpful. The owner, George, even gave us a ride into the town one time. So I highly recommend staying at this location if you want to stay close to Paradise Beach. Mykonos is another of Greece's most popular islands, so of course it might be slightly on the more expensive side and touristy side, but it is awesome, not gonna lie. It has an insane nightlife and some of the most beautiful beaches in the country, so I highly recommend visiting Mykonos. Plus, you can do tons of activities around the water, walk around the old town, which is beautiful in itself, and even take a sunset cruise or a cruise to the famous island of Delos, where you can find ancient ruins. All right, hope you guys enjoyed a brief insight into our budget spending for our Greece trip. Of course, Greece in general is pretty expensive country, super popular tourist destination, so you know they're gonna hike it up for the tourists. But overall, for the essentials, including flights, transportation, accommodations, all the activities and stuff like that, we spent around 2,200 USD. So I guess if you include food and drinks, it was in the range of 26 to 3,000 per person. So yeah, definitely one of my more expensive trips, but it was our honeymoon, so you know we had to splurge a little bit. Anyway, is it worth the hype? I think so. You can definitely do this trip for less than $3,000 if you're smart about it and do it on a budget. Of course, you can spend as little or as much as you want, and really the sky's the limit in Greece. It's an amazing country, so I highly recommend visiting. There's so much amazing landscape, food, and activities to do. It's really an awesome place. So hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe for more content because we're just getting started on the travel, man. So see you guys around. Peace out.